Hey, what is up, guys? We are here with the Johnny Cage character breakdown. If you haven't seen our character breakdowns before, we cover the notable normals, strings, special moves, differences between their variations, as well as give a basic game plan for the character. So Johnny Cage is the fan favorite. He is a rushdown monster, very disrespectful, in-your-face style of character, and that's kind of how he plays. And I think that people will like that style if you're really rush down and you like playing footsies, because he has really good ground tools as well. His walk speed forward and back, not super quick. Run speed is pretty average as well. I'd say his mobility in terms of walk and run speed is pretty average. Not anything super great and not really terrible either. But his footsies and pressure up close are pretty exceptional. So let's talk a little bit about his normals and strings. I really wanted to narrow it down to a couple of important ones for Johnny. I didn't want to talk about a bunch of different things like we did with some of the other characters. So with Johnny, there's a couple of ones that I think are really important. So his 4-3, right? This is a returning move, really good. You can see the hitbox on it is fantastic. It is unsafe on block. So this is not a move you want to throw out willy-nilly. It's a move that's really good for whiff punishing when your opponent makes a mistake. But even better than forward 3 is his forward 2-4. Like, this is a lunging overhead into a mid that juggles mid-screen. You can just, you can combo off it with that, whatever. Go into some kind of reset, like into nut punch pretty easily. You can get a standing reset off that. Forward 2-4 is really good. It's 0 on block. Excellent string. He also has his back 3-4-3, which looks like this. And that is -1 on block. Has an overhead at the end of it. So that's another string you can use because it has this move in it, right? This lunging mid. Pretty decent. But, I mean, honestly, the main string, forward 2-4. So good. So, when it comes to his special moves, he has a couple of ones that he has universally in all his variations. He has his force ball, which is down forward 2. EX version is 2. This is plus on block, so that's one of the things that makes this okay. Because if you cancel into that, if it hits, you get, almost 20% damage. And if it's blocked, you're +5. Which means, you're in your opponent's face and it's time for you to hit buttons and do stuff. He also has his, high and low force ball. They both look like that. So yeah, force ball. The other thing he has that's universal, you guys saw already, Nut Punch. In this version, EX Nut Punch actually is a pop-up that you can combo after. So a little different than traditional Johnny Cage, but still pretty cool. And it also has armor, so that is an armored reversal that launches. Really great. Really unsafe on block, but pretty great move. He also has his Shadow Kick, which is back forward 4, looks like that. EX version, really fast, covers a lot of distance, does a lot of damage, goes through projectiles. Nice move. So, we are in Fisticuffs. That is the variation we're in right now. And he gains a couple of unique moves as well as some unique buttons. So he gains a little string here. That's back 1, right? That's a unique normal. Back 1, 2, 1, 2. And it can be like chained, right? And I think you get like 9 or 10 hits before it resets, something like that. I don't know how many it is. Yeah, you get like 9 hits before it resets. So it's a pretty interesting string. We'll get into why that's important in just a second. The other thing he gains is down back 4, which is a little flip kick. Looks like that on hit. EX version looks just like that. So it's a reversal for him. So let us look at let us look at fist bump. Back forward 1. Now the important thing I was going to show here is the damage doesn't increase. So his jab still 2%, right? Even if I pump it up. The one thing this does is give you extra chip damage. And when I say it's extra chip damage, it's like a lot. So this is how much chip this normal string does until I'm pushed out of range. You can see not a ton of Liu Kang's health is gone, but if I do the buffed up version of it, you can see that I did pretty good chip, right? And so it allows you to do things like this. And oh, whoops, I missed a cancel at the end. I did one too many hits. So you can see how much chip that did. If you guys didn't know, the projectiles also gain more chip. So 4%, usually 2%. So everything he does is going to get more chip, which means that like any pressure that he does is going to be like super dangerous and do a lot of chip. So if you do this a couple times, suddenly like, yeah, you saw how much chip that did on block. That's insane, right? It's a lot of chip. So even if you're blocking Johnny when he's in fisticuffs, it's not really that great of a situation for you. So let's take a look at Stunt Double. Stunt Double is probably the most interesting variation, I'd say, of Johnny, right? It's the least straightforward, and he gains a couple of unique moves. So in this one, he doesn't have his high force ball. All he has is the mid one. Looks like this. EX it, 2 tosses like that. The interesting thing about this as well is he has his down back 1, which is a little uppercut in this. EX version looks like that. Has an overhead on the way down, and the real interesting part about this is neither of those. It is called Mimic. Down, back, 4. When he's in this, he gains some unique properties on his special move. So down, back, or down, forward, 4. It sends it out, and you can see it's like Noob Saibot, where Johnny himself doesn't move. But there's a cooldown period on this as well, so I gotta reset. Johnny himself doesn't move, but the move comes out. So that's really good for spacing, right? And the other thing is his down back 1, that uppercut you guys saw. So you can do stuff like this where you like run up and combo off of it after. So he gains unique combo action, movement, and he also gains some pretty interesting space control with his back forward 4, this move. Now that it, you know, can shoot out without him, he has a way to control that space without taking a risk. So yeah, Mimic is really a really interesting mechanic. But as you can see there, he can't do it like indefinitely, and there's also a cooldown on it that's pretty long after you used it. But a pretty interesting way to play Johnny, and I think that it's something a little different for the character. And those of you guys who like Noob Saibot, it kind of is, you know, the same kind of thing as that. Now, let's move on to A-List. A-List gains a couple of unique normals and strings that he didn't have previously. And this is the one, to me, that is the in-your-face rushdown style the most, right? So Fisticuffs has that chip style where even if you're, you know, blocking what I do, it doesn't really matter too much because I can chip you out pretty easily. Stun Double has this unique space control stuff. But A-List, well, again, it has those two projectiles. A-List is a little different. This is the one about being in your face and rushing down. So back 2 in this is a charge move. And it's a knockdown, right, if it hits, but it can also be dash canceled. So you can hold it and dash cancel it. Now, even though I'm doing this and I'm dashing forward, it still takes a little bit of your stamina, so that's something to keep in mind if you're dash canceling it. The other thing is 1-2-1. This is also becomes dash cancelable, and you can charge it. So you can dash cancel out of that as well. The most important one, I think, is forward 3-4. This string becomes dash cancelable. So suddenly his forward 3, which was really unsafe, now has a dash cancel mechanic to it, which is really good for combos, really good for pressure, and adds something a little unique to the character. So his other special moves gain charge mechanics as well. So like down back 4, this move, he has this little flip. He can charge it and hold it up like that, or he can charge it, dash cancel it. His back, his nut punch as well gains a charge mechanic to it. You can't dash cancel nut punch because listen, if the man could dash forward while he was doing the splits, like that would not be okay with me. That would be a little too much. But yeah, if you charge it up, it does a little extra damage. Looks like that, 14% of damage. But you can also like frame trap with it as well. So if you do like something like this, and your opponent tries to hit a button because forward 3 is not safe on block, they will eat the nut punch, and you can use that as a frame trap. Pretty sick. And the other move that is dash cancelable, back forward 4, which is this move, the one where he lunges. So if your opponents see that and they're like, oh, he's gonna, you know, dash forward, so I better block, then you can cover all that space really quickly, go into this, and just ruin your opponent's day. So yeah, that is A-List, which is the, you know, rush down in your face style. A little bit more than Fisticuffs maybe, you know, even though that one has a chip, and a little bit more than Stunt Double, which is more about controlling space and has some flashy combos. So yeah, that is Johnny Cage. Relatively straightforward as far as all that goes, but very strong footsie character with his, yeah, that move is so good. Down 4 as well, has like a phantom hitbox, super far, really great move. Down 3, really great low, it's plus on block. So he has some excellent normals, some excellent rush down. He's a really cool character. Definitely a fan favorite for a reason. Great personality, ton of fun to play. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the character breakdown, and I will see you guys again soon.